All right, Coach, we live. Let's give him a minute to get in here like we always do.
They want to call you when the show starts.
Huh?
Hey, they want to call you when the show starts.
Oh, yeah. Hey, it happens all the time, Coach. I almost have to always turn on my Do Not Disturb to get through the show because they're going to call. Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you to the HBCU Coaches Corner. My name is Rocky, and I'm here with the SWAC legend himself, Johnnie Cole. And we're accompanied by the Rattler himself, Steve Campbell. All right, man, we done had an action-packed week, guys. Before we get started, before we wrap this week up, and we got a very special guest before we wrap this week up. But before we get started, I gotta ask, how you doing, Coach?
Great, Coach. I'm doing well, man. Shit, Coach, we got to get it in, baby. It's football time, as I am in Arizona. You know, when I was in Texas, I said it's football time, period. So let's get this thing rolling. Got a very, very special guest, very close to me. I kind of was a very little instrumental in his coaching career. And, man, Coach, last time he was here, he was jobless, and within weeks, you know, I want to claim a little bit of it. You know what I mean? So I'm excited. I'm excited to have him on, man, and I can't say enough of great things about it.
All right, before we bring our special guest up, Mr. Campbell, how you doing?
Hey, man, listen. You can smell that football in the air. You see the kids with their jerseys and helmets on. You see the dance. You see the coaches getting up in the morning. Everybody's saying they're going to be at the Celebration Bowl. They're going to make it to Atlanta. We had one coach on last night that has those championship aspirations, and had another coach that said he's building to those championship aspirations. But you know what? The one thing, you only got it right here on the Coaches Corner with Johnnie Cole. Right here.
Absolutely. This time of year, Coach, guys, optimism is eternal. Everybody is one game away from that championship right now. You know, one opportunity away, man, and everybody seems to have that optimism, thinking they can do it. But in the SWAC and in the MEAC, there's only going to be one team crowned conference champions.
That's right.
And I think this is an appropriate time to bring up our very special guest, the head coach of the Grambling Tigers, none other than Mickey Joseph. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good, fellas. How y'all doing? JC, what's up, baby?
Hey, what's going on there? Hey, Coach, he in a different color, ain't he? Last time we came with, he was in red, white. Then he was in his personal suit. Look at him. He sit up there in that black and gold, baby.
Yeah.
What's going on, Mick, Coach?
You know, first day. It was first day on the field today. We reported yesterday, first day today. And, you know, just trying to get out there and improve every day we get out there. You know, it was rough on them today.
Good. Coach, how you doing? I mean, man, you jumping from Nebraska. You out here in Arizona, seeing your kids. You're in New Orleans. Now you're in Baton Rouge. Man, tell how you doing, Coach?
Well, you know, I'm settled back in doing what we do, you know, and trying to get this thing back in order over here. And it's, you know, the landscape of college football is that transfer portal. So, you know, we came in and we evaluated all those kids that we had on the roster, and then we decided who we needed to part ways with and who we needed to keep. And then after we made that decision, then we went out and got the kids that, you know, fit the model that we were looking for. So we 27 to 30 kids left, and we brought 33 in. So now you're just getting the chance to, you know, continue to try to get to know them as a person and how they want to work. And, you know, if they want to win for a team or they want to win for themselves. because that's what you're dealing with the transfer portal. Some kids are just out for themselves, and team don't mean too much for them. But I tell them this: as long as you're doing your job, team's gonna mean something for you. You're making plays. The minute you stop making plays, you're gonna be gone anyway. So,
well, Coach, you telling me that the G-Man, y'all paying folks over there now? Y'all got that kind of money? What tree money y'all don't shook?
Look, I tell people like this: I don't have Nebraska and LSU money, you know, but we do have something, and I got a mouthpiece. You know that I got that from you.
yeah. Well, Coach, you at home too. You at home.
Yes.
You know, all the
no
high
doubt.
school. How important is you being at home, right down the street from mom, dad? You know, your brother, he's somewhere coaching some pro team. I forget now, but
yeah.
How is that helping you in your program?
Well, just with my brother Sammy, my brother Sammy, the younger one, is at ULM. So his house is right across the street from my house. And then, Vance came up last, 2 weeks ago before they started camp for our legend golf tournament. Vance and Terry did. Terry's at Texas advancing with the Broncos. So it's good to be close to family. They, when they need something, they know who to call, and they know when they catch you during football season because you're going to say yes. But it's good to be back. It's good to be back with family.
You talking about them young brothers, because see, I'm one of them young brothers. When I get in trouble, I know how to call them older brothers. They got all the money.
Yeah. And that middle one has all the money in his family.
I forgot you the oldest. You are the oldest. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. But you got money though, Coach. You don't need little brother's money. Not that his money.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Coach. Go ahead, guys.
Hey, Coach, I wanna thank you because you're the first time return guest on our show. When you were on here last time, you were you were a candidate for a number of vacant jobs all over the country, especially in the HBCU landscape. And I want to say thank you again for being the first repeat guest. But what I wanted to ask you, Coach, because I found that, after going over your bio and things of that nature, we had, really your homeboy on last night, Eddie Robinson.
Oh yeah, that's my dog. That's my dog. Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you this, Coach. What kind of foundation did the city of New Orleans have football foundation that makes it where so many players and coaches come out of that area? It's not like, it's New York or Atlanta or Dallas or Houston, but it's rich in football tradition and what being from New Orleans in the state of Louisiana means to you as far as your football career.
Well, first of all, I think New Orleans is one of the cities that when they produce a high school football player, we have that grit. We have that. I'm gonna get after you, no matter what. No fear. I'm gonna get with you. So when you walk down that hill, you want some New Orleans boys in your crew, and if you look at our roster consists of Shreveport, Monroe, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans. For the top cities in the state, Lafayette plays good football too, and Lake Charles. But those your four big cities, and that's what our roster consists of. But just when you talk about New Orleans, you're talking about well coached high school football, very talented. Everybody's related. If you're not related, you say that's your cousin. But we play with a lot of confidence. And when we see the man across from us, we have no fear. We have no fear in our eyes that if I work like him, I'm gonna be to get after him. And that's what you like about New Orleans kids.
Some of those guys, and funny that you say that, Rock and Steve. You guys, Louisiana, don't get the credit that when you talk about high school, first you talk about Florida and you talk or Texas, either way, California, some Ohio. Really, people sleeping on Louisiana. Because y'all gonna produce some great kids out there. Especially you. How many players did you coach that's in the pros when you was over at LSU? Wide receivers.
Well, we start with Jefferson, Chase, Marshall, Racy, DJ Chalk, Russell Gage, Trey Palmer. The last two Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas. A good group.
Oh shoot, Coach don't win out, guys. Can you believe that? Can you? And that's who he recruited, Coach. He recruited them. He didn't just saying they were on the team. He recruited them and coached them. All those wideouts.
I wanted to point out that connection between Henry Robinson and New Orleans, because that's it's very unique that we get two coaches from the same hometown coaching in the same conference as head coaches. I think that's very unique. And New Orleans has such a rich tradition of players coming from, and really the New Orleans area, to be perfectly honest, they have such a rich tradition of playing players, not only playing in the pros, but in HBCU football, there are so many players that have come through that have been stars and who have made an impact. And with Coach Robinson and Coach Joseph, I thought it was a very a coincidental situation that they were back-to-back guests, and they were also both from the city of New Orleans. Go ahead, Coach.
And we both played in the Catholic League. He played at Brother Martin, and I played at Archbishop Shaw. So
Wow.
That's a strong league down in the city with all the Catholic high school. And I think right now, Edna Carr's in it right now. Edna Carr's probably one of the strongest teams in the state or the country that nobody really knows about. But St. Augustine has a game this year against Carter Ritter out of St. Louis. It was going to be a really good game. But we always say this in Louisiana: pound for pound, we know we're the best football state in the country, because at the end of the day, nobody won't get at us. We know Texas is big. We know that's big, but they say Texas, everything's bigger, but Louisiana, we say everything's harder. We got more heart than y'all. So we always say that. But like you said, just around the United States and being here at Grambling with a national brand, you get to run into a lot of coaches outside of Louisiana, and you just respect the coaches, the time they're putting in with the players, because what's happening right now with high school kids, they're getting lost. They're getting lost. These 4-stars are not signing anywhere. So we have kids from all over the country, that's calling us. We had a kid from East St. Louis, had some group of fives, but they're moving slow on him. And so he wanted to get in the boat with us. So you're able to do that, because at the end of the day, I still want to have a roster where I'm developing kids. I think you still can do that at the HBCUs on the FCS level. So my roster is still going to consist of 85%. It's going to be high school kids where I can develop, and I'm going to keep 15% of portal kids and try to get the stability back and get the depth back with high school kids, because I think that builds a championship program. I think when you just get portal kids, I think you just patch it together, and I don't think you can sustain that in FCS.
Go ahead, Coach Campbell.
Well, Coach Joseph, listen, big fan of yours. Me and you around the same age. Now, see, I got to school these folks.
He's a rattler too.
I'm a rattler, but hold on, Coach. Hold on. I'm gonna back you up at Grambling. That's how I let these folks know. See, I used to play baseball in North Baseball League, New Orleans League in Grady Park. Now, you West Bank. See, you got to let them folks know you from that West Bank. Now, a little bit different. The boys from the West Bank, we're all a little bit different.
Yeah.
And your high school is a legendary high school, like you said. You're talking about Brother Martin, St. Aug, your school and everything like that. But Coach, I wanted to talk with two things, because I'm gonna get to a point. You played in Nebraska. First of all, how did they get you out of the SEC country with the type of talent you had? That's the first question I got. And then the second question, the position you played in Nebraska, which was one of the foremost positions in all of college football, the Nebraska I-back quarterback Nebraska was one of the schools that had black quarterbacks. And you following that long tradition to come up there. And then now you come back home and you actually have the preseason Offensive Player of the Year with Miles Crawley. So kind of tell us about your journey going to Nebraska, coming back to Grambling, and how what you've done being a quarterback, how's that going to help your quarterback, Miles Crawley?
Yeah. Nebraska, when you talk about Nebraska, they don't have a strong high school football tradition there. They have some really good teams there, but they don't have enough talent. So with Nebraska, is always a nationwide when it came down to recruiting. So I mean, they got LC from Ohio, So so we went all over. We had kids from New Jersey. It was just all over the country when you got to Nebraska. And yes, when you got in that quarterback room, they don't tell you how many quarterbacks they have in there. They just tell you where you're going to be. We'll start you at second or third on the depth chart. But when you get in there, it's 10 quarterbacks in there. And it was player of the year in California, player of the year in Texas, player of the year in Louisiana, player of the year in Florida. Everybody was player of the year in Nebraska. So, but it was really competitive. And yes, I thought Nebraska was, and Oklahoma was one of the few schools that played black quarterbacks, back in the days. So, you just take a hat off to Coach Osborne because what he wanted an athletic guy at quarterback for some of the things that he wanted us to do. But at the end of the day, he did teach us football. We audibled. We had I write check with me. So he enhanced our thinking when it came down to football more than we did in high school.
Let me ask you this, Coach, because you came through. Me and you are similar to the same age. Actually, you're from the West Bank. I didn't realize that, but my suite mate at Tyler Junior College, who was a basketball player, was also from the West Bank. A guy named Robert Pack. I don't know if you know Robert Pack.
Pack went to Clark.
Yeah. So anyway,
Pack was in the league for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I wanted to ask you, Coach, coming out of school and at the time you did, being a black quarterback and playing in a major conference in the South, there wasn't a lot of opportunities. Was it important to you when you came out of high school to play quarterback, or you were just playing? Did you make a point to look for an opportunity to play quarterback when you came out of high school? Is what I'm asking.
Well, I had to play quarterback because that's the only position I played growing up. I didn't know how to play any other position. I couldn't play receiver because I couldn't catch. I wasn't playing running back because I wasn't ISO and I wasn't going face up with a linebacker. I wasn't playing corner because I was probably a little too stiff. So the only position I played was quarterback coming up. So I never even entertained. LSU tried to recruit me as a corner, and my dad put that guy out the house. My dad put him out the house because I was going to play quarterback. So I visited Minnesota. I would visit Notre Dame, where Lou Holtz was at. Then I visited Oklahoma with Barry Switzer, and I ended up at Nebraska. But the only position I ever played was quarterback. So I didn't know how to play any other position because that's all I played.
Well, now, let's say Coach is a special kind of quarterback. Coach ran the option, man.
Yes.
He ran the speed option. You know what I'm saying? He was, that was his thing. So did Solich bring you in?
No, bless his soul, Jack Pierce. Jack Pierce, because you remember back in the days they had off-campus recruiters.
Yeah.
And Jack Pierce brought us in.
Who was your head coach, though?
Osborne.
You was on the Osborne his last couple of years. Okay.
Yeah. So
they ran the speed option. A lot of belly option, a lot of speed.
Triple.
Like the triple option. So Coach was a special package, Coach. And
Yes.
Coach, you're a Nebraska guy. I don't know if you guys know, my brother went to Nebraska.
Yeah, LC.
He was the first black African-American captain on the football program. So that's where I spent a lot of my springs in Omaha and there at the University of Nebraska. So I am a big red a little bit. But Coach, man, you jumped around, you settled. Let's start talking about your program. If you want to go position by position, we here to see what you got. Or let me ask you this question: where do you feel you are at in your program? Can y'all challenge? Are y'all gonna be contenders? You think, or right now you just don't know?
Well, right, just looking around, and I'm still studying the conference. It was really hard for me to pick all conference kids because I really didn't know them. So I had to get, some help from some of the coaches. But I think anytime you get out and you work, I think this conference is even in talent. I think we all kind of get the same type of kids. So I think now he's going to go to, how Miles is going to play. How are we going to get Miles to play? And then how are we going to play up front on the offensive line and the defensive line? Because I think we all have skill positions. Because I think what separates Group of Five and FCS is the O-line and D-line and the quarterback. I think everything else is, because I got some kids here that could have played for me at Nebraska. I got one or two kids here that probably could have played for us skill-wise at LSU. So it's about how well and how much depth we have on the D line, and and if we can keep Miles upright, if we can keep Miles up and get him to make really good decisions. I think you can challenge in this conference, because I think this conference is very talented, but I think we get the same type of talent. I don't think anybody's going to just say, I'm just going to really out recruit you. Because I think it's a whole bunch of kids out here that looks to go to HBCUs that Group of Fives miss on, or they just say, oh, he's too raw. But I think we can challenge this year, but it depends on how well Mile play and his Mile play in the O line and D line. And then I think it's special teams going to be strong. That you got to be really good in special teams to challenge in this conference. And we're working at all of that. But like you said, it's still early. We'll know more. But I'll be to tell you more in December.
Hey, Coach, coming from programs like LSU and Nebraska, who are really known for their interior strength, O-line and D-line, does that help you in not only development, but also being able to spot a player that could help you in that area?
Well, when it came to recruiting O-line and D-line, I was heavily involved here, with closing the deals with these kids and going to see these kids. So I made sure that we made good decisions when we were separating from kids. And I made sure we made great decisions when we was bringing kids in. So I was heavily involved in that. And as far as the skilled kids, they're going to come. But I was really looking and saying, okay, this kid is O-line guy. He bends well. He's really explosive, comes out his hips. With a D-line guy, how he uses his hands, where's his feet at, his eye discipline. So I was heavily involved in that with Jay Smith. Our D-line coaches did a really good job of bringing kids in. And then Reggie Nelson, our O-line coach, bringing them in. Because I knew, coming in here, being in this conference, like, people don't understand, John, I was in this conference in 1999 with y'all. And so I tease Eddie Robb to tell Eddie Robb, I've been SWAC, I've been SWAC,
There you go. You've been SWAC, but you ain't SWAC.
Hey, but they always tell me at Grambling that I could have went here and fit in.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So when Doug and Shaq didn't tell me that, I said, okay, I feel good about myself. But like I said, we working over here. We got them in right now. They're in meetings. We about to head out in about 6 minutes. We're gonna blow the horn and we're gonna go out for the 30-minute walkthrough. Give them their snack and get them back up at 6 in the morning. And I think it's the first. These kids are getting used to this schedule. And you can warn these kids and say, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. But this generation is a wide generation, and they got to see for themselves. And that's what I tell our coaches when these kids ask you why. If you're a confident coach, you'll tell them why. Why are we doing something? But we got a good group of kids in the building. Like I said, they're from all over, but the majority, I want to say 75 to 80% of the rosters from Louisiana, because what we did when we went in the portal, we target kids that was from Louisiana and just brought them back home. So I thought the coaches did a really good job of that, because it's Louisiana's a different place now. It's a different place. We got different food. We talk a little different. I can talk. I got 3 accents. I got a Nebraska accent, a New Orleans accent, and then accents to get what I need. So
Hey, Coach, as you mentioned your coaches, right? And you had to put together a coaching staff. Can you talk about some of the guys you brought in and what their roles will be with your team?
Well, besides Johnnie, I think Eric Dew is probably one of the best play callers that's been through the SWAC, and I think he's going to do a good job here. He's been here before. He's a Louisiana guy. And Jason Rollins, defensive coordinator. He's been around for a while. He's Group of 5. He was at UTSA, Tulane. So, I put some kids together, then you got some young kids, on the staff. But, the 2 major parts is the two coordinators, and Amon and AA. We got him from Texas Southern, a special teams coordinator, and they're doing a really good job of working together. And you got to get on them, to work, because they want to win. But at the end of the day, I always say, it's never Grambling versus Grambling. And so they're doing a really good job of working together and trying to make us a better football team.
Yeah. Coach, man, just working for Grambling. It sounds like that you still kind of searching, you like in the closet, kind of searching, you just found out where the restroom at. But all the legends been there, and I know they come around. You know,
Yes.
I mean, how does that make you feel? You know, I know it's not intimidating because you've been around some greats yourself, but just do you use that for helping recruiting as well? Those guys that come around.
Yeah, because they had a legend weekend where they were inducting people into the Grambling State Football Hall of Fame. And the Shaq came up, Doug came up, Everson Walls, all the boys back in the days. And they had some Thursday. So I was with him the whole weekend. I was with him Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Just hanging out with him. Like I said, my brother Vance and Terry came up and played in the golf tournament. So you do have rich tradition here. You do have 4 Hall of Famers here, here at Grambling. But you have so many guys that played in the National Football League that I got to meet, with the legends, and it was like, man, this is good. This is awesome right here, just to meet these guys, and these guys to say, hey, we happy that you're our coach, but at the end of the day, they all said one thing: we need to win. And so I know this is a pressure cooker. I know the style of play that Grambling they want to have. They want to look a certain way, but at the end of the day, when you Grambling, you're gonna get everybody best shot, and that's what I'm explaining to my kids. But also explaining to my kids, they can't live on what Doug them did. They can't live on a kill. They got to go in the jungle and get their own kill, and our kids understand that right now. But they do respect the G.
Right. Well, you got a big task. The Bayou Classic game is big enough.
Yes.
But they got the rabbit's foot at Southern being the head coach. Coach Graves, he ain't lost the game. It don't matter what side he on, they win the game. So, we know that game is a big game, but he got the rabbit's foot, Coach.
I told him, I said, you're the only guy that jumped in the interim and won both games. And I'm really good friends with Coach with Graves. We call him Groove. He's a great coach, but he's a great person. I've been knowing him for over 25 years, and we get along. And I'm always rooting for them when we're not going to play them. So I always take my hat off to Coach Graves, what he has done. And I worked with him here last time we was at Grambling. But I always tell him, we're going to New Orleans. That's my city. So that's my city. So
he just visited. Ain't he from the East Coast?
Yeah, he's from Virginia Beach.
Yeah. He played at Winston-Salem State under Pete Richardson.
Yeah, he played under Pete. But I love Groove though. I love Graves. He does a great job. He's gonna do a great job at Southern. Like I said, we just gonna root for him, throughout the year until we play us. But everybody know that's a big game. That game changes addresses. So we understand the magnitude of that game, and it's down the line. So we, like I said, we got 12 stop signs that we're gonna stop at, and we'll stop at that one at the last stop sign and see where we're at.
Yeah.
Well, as you mentioned that it changes addresses, the Bayou Classic does. You have the last 2 Southern coaches on your staff, and so
that's right. You see that, huh?
Yo, what's that gonna be?
You said it. I didn't say it.
Y'all gonna be at the 50-yard line, Coach. It might be some elbows up in here, cause that job. Last night we talked to with Eddie about how important the Magic City Classic game is. Mm-hmm. I know that Bayou Classic game is one too. So, hey man, I know it's a big game. Your quarterback. Before you got to go, Coach.
Go ahead. I'm walking to the field, but we good.
Where's he at? You was a part of coaching Darnell Kennedy. One of the greats in the SWAC.
Yeah.
I've been hearing great things about this coach. All right. Tell me something about Crawley that'll make me say, man, let's get it. Let's get it. We throwing 300 a day.
Oh, he about that now. He about throwing that ball. He worse than you want to throw that ball. but I like where he's at right now. I like the middle part where he's at right now. He understands that he's up for a lot of awards, but he's a team player. And he's doing a great job of leading them. I want him to be, when I got here, I want him to be more vocal, and he's doing that right now. So, everything he's getting, he deserves. But he's putting the team first, and we agree to that. I'm gonna let y'all say hi to him. He right here.
Coach.
Hey, what's up, Miles? How you doing?
What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Look here now. I played quarterback in the SWAC too. The one in the middle. All right. Teams win championships with great quarterbacks. So I'm putting the pressure on you.
It's all good. I can take it.
You the best in the league now. We want to see.
So-
we want to see Grambling in the Celebration Bowl.
I got you, baby.
Okay.
Hey, look, and Johnny, you know what? You know, with me, he can take ass chewing.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah, I can get after him.
And Mick, I appreciate you taking us through.
Oh, I appreciate y'all. I gotta get him. I gotta get him on the field.
I got you, Coach.
All right, then, Coach. Thanks for everything, man. We appreciate it. And good luck to start off the season.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Johnny, I'm gonna holler at you.
Okay, my friend. Good luck this year, man. And I'll see you down the road. Bye-bye.
All right.
All right, Coach.
All right, Coach. Hey, this is gonna be nice, Coach. We're gonna get into bed for the news. Come on tonight, Coach.
Yeah. Unless we start getting some callers coming in with some predictions.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to ask him this, but I guess we'll figure out at some point. I was wondering, was he gonna run? And you may have had conversations with him, Coach. What kind of offensive system do you think he's going to run? Have you had any conversation with him regarding that or anything?
Yeah, they said they're gonna run the base. Their base is what LSU did when he had all those great wide receivers down there. So I take it that they're gonna stretch the field. They're gonna stretch the field and gonna try to spread you out, and then there'll be a big draw and screen kind of team.
Okay. Well, that seems like a little different than what Eric Dooley has run in the past. Eric Dooley's run in the past been more of a zone read kind of quarterback centered system, if I'm correct in describing that. Mr. Campbell, isn't that what you saw?
This is the thing. What I was getting in again. I know Coach Joseph had to go, but I literally was down there every game for those championship runs because that's when I was sponsoring Grambling. And what I'm going to say is, if Coach Dooley, because you understand something what they got right now, they've got a great wide receiver. I believe his name is Javon Robinson. They've got a quarterback. That's exactly what they had at Grambling. Now, the question is, do they have what they used to call Mr. Excitement? That was their running back during those championship years. Can they get that trifecta where you've got the quarterback, the running back, and the great offensive wide receiver to blow the top over? And my thing is, with Grambling and just looking at their schedule, they are set to have a big season. The question mark to me is going to be on the defensive side.
Yeah,
I think the offense is going to be fine. I think the offense is going to move the ball, but Grambling has struggled the last couple of years with defense. And Coach, that is a really hard thing to do, to get those big guys up front when you're trying to build that program. And I know that's what Coach Joseph specializes in, and things like he said, hey, I got to get involved with those lines. And I know why he said that, because I'm pretty sure when he looked at that team, because if you looked at Grambling last year, they lost a lot of games, especially that Southern game, because Southern started running the ball and they couldn't stop them.
Right.
Couldn't stop in the third and fourth quarter. And Grambling lost a lot of close games because they got wore down on the defensive line. And Coach, you know this, the G-men, with the real G, hey man, they were known for the defensive line. They were known for the defensive line.
And they was gonna run the ball too. They were going to
run the ball.
They were gonna clock control. Now they ran that wing T under Eddie Robinson. Man, it was unstoppable until the game changed. Game changed where you couldn't do that. Because then now you putting players in different angles on the line of scrimmage, but and everybody kind of caught on to it. So man, that was great, man. That was great. Got a chance to meet the number one quarterback this year in the conference, and kind of got to know where Coach Joseph is. But the thing about it, and I don't know if y'all felt it, I felt not that he's not sure. He's still trying to figure out things and figure out his players and how his coaching staff gonna come together. Because financially, and this is under the table, but it's out. Financially, he didn't get Coach Jackson's money. Coach Jackson was at $400,000, then was able to pay his staff all this money. I don't know why, Steve, that we go out and when we hire just a regular guy, to me, when you hire the big time guy, you don't need to really give him all the money because one, you're just giving him opportunity. Like Eddie George is making $400,000 a year, no experience. Well, to me, it should be the opposite. We give you an opportunity to coach. You know what I mean? So here's what we pay and be able to pay your assistants. And I think that Coach Joseph had a little trouble being able to pay his assistants money that's wasn't nowhere clear to what Coach Jackson had. You know, so I think, and then when you do that, you pay for what you get, Rocky. You know what I mean? You pay for what you get. And, you know, we talk about these staffs, but if they ain't comfortable, Coach, you know, every open time they get, they're in the office on the phone calling around for jobs. So I hope that ain't Coach Joseph's situation. He hired a bunch of young guys as well on that staff. You know, so, you know, I didn't get that confident Mickey Joseph that I know of. You know, how did you guys feel about that?
Well, Coach, I think, you know, he's in the process of, like you say, he's figuring out where the bathroom is. He's figuring out what he has, what he's recruited. You know, being that this is his first year, he's trying to figure out what he brought in. And as you know, when you come in, you know, late in the recruiting season, all the better players are kind of picked over, you think. And when you end up recruiting later in the year, and maybe you can talk about this, Coach, you're going to end up with some players that have some question marks later in the season. All the sure things get picked up pretty quick. The guys who have question marks, they're going to be available late. They still may be good players, Coach, but the fact of the matter, there's either going to be some development that has to be done, there's going to be some character issues, or there may be some questions about ability.
Yeah. You know, that's a cliche, guys, about when I get in, there's players everywhere. And it's players everywhere, you know, and if opportunities are there, there's players everywhere. It's got to be patient, especially when you're on the FCS level. You know what I'm saying? You got players dropping from Division I all the time. You got kids at Division II schools want to come to Division I, and you right there in the middle, you know. And I hear that a lot about coaches about oh, well, I don't have enough scholarships, I don't have enough funding, I don't have enough, you know, we can't recruit. Man, you can pick that phone up. You know, you ain't got time to cry and all that, and especially now, because people want you to win right now. You got to go out there and turn over some rocks, and you'll find you something every now and then, and you got to be able to put it together. That's why, Rocky, I always talk about program over talent. I've always told you that, ain't it? Program over talent. And so he's
how impactful.
Go ahead.
How impactful can your program be, Coach, when it's just 1 year, when you're just probably 6 months into your job? You know, you get one recruiting cycle, and though you do have the transfer portal, but I think it takes time for even those players, when you bring them in, to gel and to figure out what you have.
Well, I'm not saying that he should come in and win a championship. You know, we if you look at our rankings, you know, we put him down there. I was just saying the feel that I was getting. You know, he said he moved out 30 players. That's a lot of players. He brought in 23 transfers, and that could be 23 attitudes, Steve. You know what I'm saying? You know, how did these kids get here? You know what I'm saying? So he's got a lot of work to do. And I felt it, and he just didn't sound that confident.
Well, let me break a couple of things down, and I'll tell people this: Grambling, when I was growing up, literally was my second favorite school. That was one of the schools I applied to go to, because I love Grambling. But one thing I like about Grambling, Coach, you can back this up. Far as HBCU football program, they have the strongest football alumni out of all the schools. Their players support that program year in and year out. That's the first thing that's going to help Coach Joseph. So,
Coach, reinforce that. former football players support that is
support that. So what's going to happen is they're going to watch him, and and I will say that, and like I say, Doug Williams took that thing from Shaq Harris, and now he's carrying on the banner, and Kincaid is now back there. You're going to see those guys. They're going to say, Coach, what do you need? And I'm telling you, I have seen it firsthand. They will come up with $100,000 out of nowhere to make sure that those guys are ready to go. I'll tell you another thing, too, about Grambling. When you get down to Grambling, I think a lot of people don't understand how small Grambling is. It is literally 2 streets down the whole campus.
Yeah.
But when you come to Grambling, you want to be at Grambling. And that G means something. And because that whole community is behind you and you put that G on, I'm telling you, Coach gets that thing rolling. Because what's going to happen is, like he said, that North Louisiana and down in North, they are Grambling former players all over, coaching all over Louisiana. And I have heard more than once, I would ask guys, like, how'd you get me? And my coach made me come up here to Grambling. I'm like, he made you come. He's like, oh, yeah. He made me come to Grambling. That's what you hear a lot of those players that will tell you, former players will tell you, that their coaches made them come to Grambling because of what Grambling did for them. So he's going to get a lot of that. What I like about Coach Joseph, he knows how to recruit. And what Coach Joseph is also going to be able to say to a lot of skilled, hey, man, you see all those guys in the NFL? I coach those guys.
Right.
I coach those guys. You come to Grambling, I can show you exactly what got them to the NFL. So those are things that I think is going to bode well for Grambling and him going forward. Because, like I said, I know he can recruit. I know that Grambling alumni base is going to come together. So, Coach, what I think what you saw there with Grambling, I think this is happening to a lot of universities. When they get that big name hire, they got to pay them out. Then they kind of pull back. FAMU's going through the same thing I told with the basketball coach. You know what I mean? Let's pull back. Let's not pay. We got burned and stuff like that. So I think that's what's going to happen. But I think the alumni football players are going to fill that gap, and I know the alumni will fill that gap coming through.
Go ahead, Coach.
No, I think the best thing Grambling has going for him, to be honest with you, is that he plays in the West. That's the best thing that he has going for him.
All right, you're gonna get a phone call.
I'm just being perfectly honest. Like if he takes the team that he has, in my opinion, and you put that over in the East, you know, I don't think it fares very well. But with him being on the West, on the West side, I think that gives him a chance to vie for at least a West Division championship, to be honest with you. Just if he's competent as a coach, in my opinion.
Yeah. Ain't no doubt that he has his work cut out for him because the tradition is strong. It ain't no excuses, you know, at Grambling. You got to win. And, you know, here's what I don't know. I don't know how strong his coaching staff is. And like you said, Rocky, it's new, you know, So, Coach,
I wanted to bring that up for you, Coach, and I wanted you to tell me what's going on here as I look over the coaching staff. And I'm going to share my screen here for a second, guys. So I want to share this screen. I don't think this is correct, but you're talking a general manager and 6 coaches. Does that seem like a full roster of coaches to you, Coach?
No, not at all.
I don't see a running backs coach.
Right. Jason Rollins was the head coach at Southern University that year. And then he came over from Louisiana Monroe. Everybody know where Eric Dooley came from. The wide receiver is a young guy that I know. And the general manager, Joseph Nix. I know Coach Nix, and Nix kind of run the show for Mickey, and Nix come with a wealth of experience, you know, of running a program. He actually recruited at one time for the Canadian League. So, yeah, I know Joe Dukes. He's kind of bounced around the conference as well. But, yeah, it's almost like Coach Joseph going to be coaching the position.
Yeah, you know, looking over the coaching roster, I don't see a running backs coach, and I don't see a D-line coach.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something, but Rocky, let me tell you something, and I gotta say this is an HBCU joke, but don't let that website might not get updated to the 5th game of the season.
Okay,
I'll be honest with you, because
okay.
that's up to that. And let me tell you what happens with an HBCU. The SIAD might not even know who has the password to update update the website sometimes, and they got to find the guy to update it. So I will kind of give them a little bit of grace on that. to be honest with you, because I have seen that. So I think I was pulling something up, and I thought that I saw a different list of additional coaches that were added. Plus, he named guys that are not on this list too, that he was talking about, that he has coached, that he was talking about when Coach Cole asked him about it.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. All right, guys, we got a caller. Caller, you're live on the air with HBCU Coaches Corner. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is Chuck Hunt calling from Monroe, Louisiana, 33 miles east of Grambling.
Okay.
All right, Chuck, thank you for calling in.
Yes.
Do you have a question or a comment?
I just have a comment. I think I was looking at you talking about the coaches staff, and look at those guys here on staff like Jason Rollins and Reggie Nelson and Dale Lee. I went to McNeese in the 90s, and I remember those guys when they were playing football down there at McNeese. And I was looking at them on staff at Grambling, and I was looking at we brought, all those guys. I was looking at not Rollins, but the others. These guys coached under all of them coached under Roderick Fobbs and Coach Dooley. He was on the staff. That's why I remember all of them on that staff. And I think he's trying to. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's a great example. Throwing things, like I said, throw something against the wall, see if it sticks. That's just. If that's a great example. Hopefully that's a great example.
It sounds like he's trying to bring that Bob staff back together, except but he's in the head. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. That's his thinking back to yesterday. Thinking about the 2016 Celebration Bowl championship. I was at that game in 2016, and I attended in 2017 when they played North Carolina A&T. And that was at both of those games. And my parents went to school at Grambling in the 60s. My father played in the marching band. And by the way, my father was a roommate of Coach Eddie Robinson's son, Eddie Robinson Jr., and he was our neighbor one time here in Monroe.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Well, let me say this. If he assembles that staff and gets similar results, he'll go down as a legend, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Hey, anything can happen. He said he put staff, and you see Coach Cole. I think back when you were assistant at Southern, when Pete Richardson first came. I came out of high school in 1993, and I remember when I was at the '93 Bayou Classic, and people didn't know who Coach Richardson was. I remember him when he coached at Winston-Salem State. You see the games on BET. But look at what happened. Magic came out. They put all that to rest about Coach Richardson and gave Southern all those winning seasons. They hadn't seen those type seasons since A.W. Mumford. And it's about like I said, it's about the what that saying? That's the exercise about the Jimmies and the Joes.
Yeah. Well, right there. That was that season. That was the season that Pete Richardson came, and Coach, we ran through everybody like water run through a wet bag, man. And but Pete took over 22 seniors, Coach, and 18 of them were starters. And all we had to do was, number one thing was pull them out of man coverage all the time. Because see, Marino Casson, I'm telling you this your history now. Marino Casson was a man-to-man kind of guy, Alcorn, right? He coached at Alcorn over 23 years. So when he came to Southern, he brought that same football style. So they played man a lot. And what happened was they lost some close games at the end of the game where DB slide. You playing man the whole game. That's mono on mono. I'm bound to catch a pass on it. And that happened to him the year before we got there. And we returned all those guys. Yeah. And out of that team, about 5 of them went to the NFL. 2 of them was in the secondary.
Oh yeah, I hope.
3 of them was in the secondary. So we had some great players when we got there. So hopefully, I guess that's
you
kind
mean
of what
former Dallas Cowboy Toast Holt played for the Southern.
Yeah. We had some.
No, he played at Alcorn.
You talking about Holt? Okay, yeah. Holt.
Holt played at Alcorn. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Toast
Holt. When they covered Jerry Rice. Yeah, that's why it took that was able to hold Rice in 84 the game. Yeah,
I played against Holt. I could play against Holt. Okay.
Yeah, that's your era. Oh yes, I remember that era. Oh yes.
We put 30 on the Coach.
I want to talk about the point about him, Coach Joseph, bringing people back to Grambling. Well, that goes back to my point. These are people that are familiar with the area, that understand the challenges, that are not going to say, oh, we don't have this, we don't have that. Because, see, that means a lot, too. And, Coach, you know this. Sometimes it is about making sure that you have continuity and no complainers. Because sometimes Coach, you know this best. Like you said, you got to ride them buses, you got to sleep in them offices. And if people want to stay in a 5-star hotel, this ain't for you. So you got to understand something. Grambling is not a 5-star. It's a 5-star program in name, but far as facilities and where it's located at, you got to have people that want to be at Grambling. So I think what he kind of did was saying, hey, look, you've been here before. You know how to recruit there. You know what the limitations are, but you also know what the positives are. And I think that's what he did, because I think also, too, we kind of look back and say, oh, why he didn't get this guy, why he didn't get this guy? Because we know, first thing like we talked about, well, he might not be able to get this guy because the guy say, I'm not coming to Grambling for $70,000. You know, I'm going to go here for $120,000. But if you got a guy that say, hey, I've been down there, I want to, I'll deal with you, Coach. I understand what Grambling is, because, again, there are some things intrinsically that Grambling gives you by being part with that G. And, like I say, those coaches get a lot of little side stuff, too. Don't get it twisted. So that's why I think the reason why, Coach, that's what you saw from that.
Gotcha, Coach. Gotcha.
I want to thank you, Chuck, for calling in, man. We appreciate it. Please continue to listen. Hey, I want everybody who's listening to take a moment, all right, and do something for us right quick. Go look into, if you're watching on Scotty's channel, go to the description, select Rocky Miller YouTube, and then subscribe to our channel. Please do so. That's how you're going to keep up with what's going on with the HBCU Coaches Corner. It's hosted on my YouTube channel. So if you want to know what's going on, the next guest we'll have, please go ahead and select subscribe, and make sure you put in a comment if you would like on this channel. If you like this kind of content, right, let us know you like this kind of content. If there's a coach out there that you want us to bring on the show, put it in there, because that's one of the things that compels these coaches to come on, letting them know that there's a market and that they need to come out and speak to their fans. If you want the Southern coach, if you want the Alcorn coach, if you want the Prairie View coach, you want those guys to come on, please just put it in the comments when you're going to have it. And so we can forward that information and encourage these coaches to come on, because not every coach wants to be interviewed. Not every coach wants to market their program, but with your encouragement of their fan base, I think they'll do just what Coach Berry and Coach Robinson and now Coach Joseph has done.
Hey, Rocky, we don't have any more. Do we have any more callers?
No, okay. Right now.
Well, real quick before we cut, I know we want to get out of here. But, Rocky, I just sent you a link of the Grambling schedule. Can we just pull that up and let's talk a little bit about that before we get out of here?
We great minds think alike, don't it? See, I already had it up, Steve. And ready to go. Now, and what I really wanted Coach to do is go through this schedule and see how many wins are there for Coach Joseph.
All right, with Raging Cajun, they play in the Division I program. Grambling is new, coach is new. It'll be close, but I'm gonna give it to Raging Cajun.
Okay.
All right. Oh, we open up with Texas A&M University Commerce and Commerce, Texas.
You got a game for that one. We got a game for that, Coach.
Tuskegee.
Tuskegee.
Okay, Tuskegee come to Eddie Robinson Stadium. Every team in America gets better the second game around. I got Grambling on the last slide. I think they'll get out to Tuskegee real good. Quick, early in the hurry.
All right, so we got one victory.
Texas A&M Commerce. They run the ball exceptionally well. Their offensive line coach down there, Coach Manny, they've been really, really running the ball successful. But I got Grambling in a close one. And I don't even see why they even going down that way. But, hey, it is what it is. I got Grambling by 7. Here we come, Jackson State. Man, great game, great time to play them. I'm going into my third game. Hopefully I don't have no injuries. You got a new offensive coordinator at Jackson State. Coach T he decided to start calling his own plays. As well as he's off to a start. It's going to be a close one. They playing at Grambling. I'm gonna take Jackson State just because the coach has been in place and he was a part of the Deion Sanders celebration. I'm gonna say.
And we'll be at the State Fair Classic. If the Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we'll be right there.
Yeah.
And
we will fly in on Sunday, and the interview and media day for the State Fair Classic is on that Monday. So we will be there. We will be able to interview the coaches again. We'll be able to interview Al Wash, who promotes this game. He's been doing it close to 50 years. He the owner. We'll be interviewing the band master for both teams. We'll be interviewing the SIDs as well. Great game, Coach. We'll see where they are. Prairie View has been in place. You got to go with the coach and the team that's been in place. I'm going to take Grambling for the upset.
Oh, okay. Curveball.
so it looks like we got 2 wins at about mid-season. Coach Joseph and the G-men are 2-3 headed to Alcorn. Who you got, Coach?
I think Crawley is going to be doing well. I don't know what he got around him. You know, Alcorn play great defense all the time. So I'm going to go with Alcorn in a close one.
All right. They've invited UAPB down to the hole for homecoming.
Crawley goes wild. 4 touchdowns. Great game. They open it up. They start feeling real good for themselves. Coach Joseph got a hold to them now. They got some victories up on them. I'm gonna take Grambling in a big one.
All right, Coach. Look like by my count, they're 3-4 and they're headed to H time.
Ain't no problem. Grambling by 2 touchdowns at least.
All right. They 500 going into the last 3 games of the season.
Woo.
And they have to travel to Bethune-Cookman.
A storm is blowing in. Bethune-Cookman's second year. I heard their recruit class is outstanding. Again, they got to get things going. Man, I'm in the dark on this one, Coach. I'm in the dark.
Can we get some help, Bishop?
Hey, I'm going to have to take, listen, here's a fun fact. The only HBCU team that beat Grambling during their championship run was Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman has had tremendous success against Grambling the last 4 times. I think they've only lost once. Yeah. So I'm going to have to take Bethune-Cookman.
I'm going to ride with you, Coach. I'm going to ride with you.
All right.
I'm about to fight. Put him back up there, Coach.
Carlos Johnson.
Call in, man. Don't be texting. Call in and tell me why I'm hating on my alma mater. All right. Call on in. All right. You might have some information that I know. I mean, we don't know. Okay, we go. Alabama State. Now I got to go with the Hornets, baby. By that time, Andre Body, Carlos, Texas Southern guy, he gonna be thrilling. He gonna be setting it on fire. He'll be settled into the offense. He throws the long ball great. I got to go with the Hornets.
All right. And then we got Alabama A&M. This is maybe a situation where Coach Maynard is trying to save his job.
He won't save it that game. I got Graham. I got Grambling. By that time, Coach Dooley and Coach Joseph and the staff have been gelling. The team. And see, one thing, the good thing about coming in that first year with a team, they don't ever stop fighting because they understand it's a tomorrow. You know what I mean? So even though it's late in the season, they still gonna come out and play. As opposed to a team like Alabama, the coach has been there, the program has got a little stale, and by that time when you get down there, man, everybody knows just about where everybody gonna be.
Let me count these wins, Coach, going into the Bayou Classic. So we got 1, we got 2, we got 3 with the upset, we got 4, we got 5, We got 6 at Alabama A&M. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, man, Coach. Knowing the West, he could be going into the Bayou Classic, playing for a spot in the SWAC championship, Coach.
Look, I got him at number 4 behind Southern, right? Behind Prairie View, right?
Uh-huh.
And behind who was number 3 for me?
Alcorn.
So I'm right on point, Coach. I'm right on point. So it's up to the other teams to make it interesting.
So who you got at the Bayou Classic, Coach?
Woo, Coach, preseason. I'm gonna take the G-Man, Coach. I gotta go with Mickey Joseph. Hey, look, I gotta go with one of my understudies.
Oh man.
The other one is under Pete Richardson. Terrence Graves is under Pete Richardson. Mickey Joseph is under my tutelage.
Hey, before I take this down, I gotta get a Bishop opportunity to respond to some of these picks.
Well, here's the thing. I picked Prairie View, so I'm going to take Prairie View.
Oh, starting from the top, Coach. You're cheating me. Steve.
Well, no, I didn't know. Yeah, we can go right from the top. There's no problem. It is no problem. So I'm with Coach with the Raging Cajuns. Grambling going to take that L first game with no problem. I think they got Tuskegee that next game, right?
Yeah.
I like Grambling in that game. Third game we've got Texas A&M Commerce. They only won 1 game last year. G-Men have got to get that W just for the SWAC and things like this. So I'm gonna take the G-Men.
I gave them that game.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I'm just saying that. I'm just reemphasizing they got to win that game. They really need to win that game for so many reasons. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I've got Jackson State, but let me tell you something. The whole has been the house of horrors for Jackson State last couple of years. And all I'm saying is if Miles Crawley gets hot, with this game being on ESPN Plus, I'm going to circle that game. But I got Jackson State in a close one, actually.
Hey, Carlo, you on there? You there?
Hello,
Carlo. Hold on, man. My bad. Yeah. I'll have you on in a second.
Yeah, okay.
So we've got Prairie View down there in that classic. I'm going to take Prairie View. Alcorn coming down to Grambling once again. I don't know. I got to go with those big bad Braves. My nephew G was on there. I'm about to go with those big bad Braves. Arkansas Pine Bluff homecoming. Everybody comes back. Go eat that good boudin. Got to go with Grambling on that one.
That's 3.
Texas Southern. I got to go with Grambling against Texas Southern. Bethune-Cookman. I'm going with Bethune-Cookman. Going with Bethune. Alabama State. This is my upset special right here. So, Coach, this is the one I'm calling the upset. You call Prairie View. I'm calling this game right here.
Put the D.
Hey, listen. I'm telling you, I'm calling this one. This is my upset special. The G-Men come out on top, and this is what knocks Alabama State out the East.
Ooh, so you get
I'm calling it. I'm just telling you something. Again, that G, and if they're rolling coming in that game, and with that Grambling G, like I said, I believe in Coach Joe. I think those boys are ready to play. Alabama A&M, I've already said that Alabama A&M is going to go win 2 conference games, so this is not 1-2. I'm taking Grambling on that. And then in the Bayou Classic, I'm taking Grambling.
7. I had them 6-5. You got them 7.
No. You have them 7-4, Coach.
I had him 7-4. Oh, my win was my difference between him was the Allen.
No, you have them. They by my count they had 12 games, Coach. Maybe,
yeah, 12.
Yeah, they got 12 games. So
okay.
So you have them 7-5, and you have them 6-6, right? This count
5, 6. Yep, I got 6-6.
So this is what I think. This is just my opinion. They're gonna take an L against ULM. They're gonna win the next 2 games. They're gonna lose to Jackson State. They're gonna lose to Prairie View. They're gonna lose to Alcorn, and they're gonna go into homecoming on a slide. Right?
Right.
Gonna go to homecoming on a slide. I believe he's gonna. The G-Men are gonna pull it out, and they're gonna go on a winning streak. And I believe they're gonna beat Bethune-Cookman.
Okay.
Coming off that winning streak, right?
I did too.
All right. So then we got Alabama State. That's a no-brainer. I got Alabama A&M And I also think
time out, Coach.
no.
Alabama State.
They're gonna beat Alabama A&M. They're gonna
No,
beat.
I'm talking about Alabama State. Who's gonna win that?
Oh, come on, Coach. Andrew
He says no brainer.
Buddy!
It's Andrew Body Train over here.
Yeah. And then we got they'll beat Alabama A&M and they'll finish off Southern as well. And I got them coming in at 6-6 as well, Coach. But just different, just a different combination of 6 and 6. How they recover from this stretch of games tells how they recover. I pretty much know how they're gonna do, right? I think they're gonna lose all 3 of these games. But if they can dig out of that hole and come back on the back half of their season and play well, they can go into the next season with a lot of momentum.
Coach,
if not, Coach Joseph could be in for a tough season.
Put those 3 games up you talk about. Now remember, I know Jackson State, Jackson State PV and Alco. Now you remember they got the baddest quarterback in the conference now. You think Crawley gonna let them win 3 games lose 3 games in a row? Okay,
yes.
That's all I had to say. Can we get the call on that?
Yeah. We get the call on that.
They're gonna win one of them 3.
Caller, you live on the air.
How you doing, sir? All 3 of you.
Good. What's your name and where you calling from?
Benjamin, Houston, by means of the Open Mic Network.
By means of the who?
First of all,
Open Mic Network.
Open Mic Network. Go ahead.
Well, can I say one thing? Thank you for calling. Thank you for being a part of our show. And we definitely look for being a part of your show.
All right, I appreciate that. First of all, I wanted to say that I enjoy listening to all 3 of you. I think you've been very objective. So that's the first thing. What I wanted to ask is, I want to just ask a question, just sit back and listen, especially from the gentleman from Florida A&M, but from all of you. Is there any possible way that you can think that a West team will host the championship this year? Now, I know, Coach, from past TSU, you're a little hating on Prairie View, but it's all good. But if you can just give me a rational thought, open-minded thought, why which team from the West could host the SWAC championship, I'll sit back and listen.
Let me answer that one first, because that yeah. And let me ask him
something. And let me ask him something.
Oh, okay.
You hung up yet?
No. He's still on.
Okay.
No, sir.
Now, do you know how the team become the host of the game?
Yes, I do. And so I was hoping a person from Texas Southern didn't answer that question, but if somebody else could answer, I appreciate it.
Okay. Go ahead, Coach.
Well, here's the thing. Prairie View, to me, because of the way their schedule lines up, has the ability to host that game. I'm going to tell you the reason why. If they say what they think they are, okay? They play FAMU there, and they play Alabama State at Montgomery. You win those 2 games, you host the SWAC championship game. Point blank, period.
Correct.
But with that being said, that means you will have one of the best seasons in Prairie View's history. So the question I would ask you, do you have the team to achieve that? Because that's what that means. Now, I said you're winning the West. I didn't say you're hosting the game. I believe you will win the West. But for you to host the game, you beat Florida A&M because you would have the head-to-head if they won the East. And if you beat Alabama State, if they won the East, you had the head-to-head. So that, to me, would bode well for you to have those 2 games. So that's the only way. Matter of fact,
Okay.
Prairie View's the only team.
Okay. So to give you the benefit of the doubt, I know you were trying to express yourself against one of my counterparts. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We're right here.
Okay. I know you. I don't want to take too much time, but I know you were expressing yourself against one of my counterparts who could not answer your question as far as who the quarterback is. And so what I wanted to tell you personally, I think we're going to take what Willie Simmons did for Florida A&M and keep everything close to the chest. Not give anybody any bulletin board information, because I think you being from FAMU, you know how quiet he kept everything to the chest. And so when we play Texas Southern, coach from past coach from TSU, you would know at that time who the quarterback is. And since you picked Grambling, I don't want to give them any bulletin board material. But being from Fort Worth, they're going to know who the quarterback is also. So I was just asking a question. I'm not saying Prairie View will host the SWAC championship game at PV. I hope they do. But I'm just saying, can you just see a way for a SWAC West team to host it? And, Coach, I invite you to Section 1. One last thing, Coach. I invite you to Section 109, Row 14, season ticket 1, 2, 3, 4. At any time you want to come to the Texas Southern game this year, I got a seat for you if you want to sit there.
Well, may I answer to that since you've been calling me out? I sit up in the sweet box. I sit up in the sweet box with a barbecue. I sit up in the sweet box with.
Well, I can get you some. I can get you some barbecue if you want some.
Yeah,
I can get you some barbecue. I'm not talking.
And then I go up on top where the owner sits at in the private box. So and I've been to the last.
Sir, I've been in the presidency. I've been in the president's box, but my point is, my wife is from Texas Southern, so I'm holding it out for Texas Southern also. But I know you have a little more gusto when it comes to Prairie View. So I'm just saying, if you want to come, I have 4 seats for you. And then as far as the gentleman from Florida AM, I really appreciate how you're very objective. You're not just, to me, I don't think you're a biased gentleman. So I'm just saying from a team standpoint, I think they know who the quarterback is. And soon, the SWAC West is going to know.
What's your name, sir, again?
Benjamin.
Benjamin.
Let me say this. You gave Steve, one of my guys, and he said, if y'all do that, that's the best season y'all have ever had, right? That's not the best season. They had the greatest season.
That's what he said.
Right. Y'all had the greatest season in 2009 when you went 9-1 and you had beat Grambling for almost 30-some years. So not only it wouldn't be the greatest season because the greatest season was in 2009. So I just wanted to add that to you.
If
And
they win the game, wait a minute, hold on now, Coach. If they win the game that I said, well, wait a minute now, they're gonna be like 10-2 going to the Celebration Bowl.
Yeah, but you were talking about who.
Well, I'm just saying
Alabama State had never been that type.
I'm just saying on my tagline, I have us going 9-2 this year.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this. You know who the quarterback is at Prairie View.
No, I would not. No. First of all, I would not say that I know. Yeah, I don't know who it is. Coach Bubba knows who it is.
Rocky, can you put our standings up there? Because just like I have to get talking about Coach Green, I'm gonna let Mr. Benjamin know where Coach at. Where do I got you at, Coach? Benjamin, where I got you at? Come on, man. I don't hate Prairie View. I love Prairie View. Them my people down there.
No, Coach. I'm not even. Coach, I saw that last week, and I saw how y'all tried to destroy my boy, everybody against TV. So I'm not gonna be like him. But what I am gonna say is, I just heard you say we're gonna lose to Grambling, and they cheated last year when they beat us. But I'm just gonna go back and say I enjoy your show. I think y'all are very objective, and I look forward to us playing FAMU again.
I thank you, Benjamin.
Thanks for listening and thanks for calling in, Benjamin. Again, these.
Yes, sir. Yeah, have a good one.
So that brings us back to, and I want to talk about this for a second. Brings us back to this. Our prediction, Coach. Let me bring the East. All right. So let's just talk about the West right quick. We're pretty consistent on who we think the best 2 teams in the East are. The West are, right? We think Alcorn and Prairie View are. We're willing to select Prairie View as one of the top teams in the West without knowing who their quarterback is. That's how much we think of that program.
Right.
Without knowing who that quarterback is, it's hard for us to pick, for me, to pick them over Alcorn, knowing that Tyler Macon is coming in with experience and has some success on the field as a backup. That's the issue that we're, that's the decision process that we're going through. Now, for whatever reason, Mr. Campbell feels confident that Coach McDowell is going to have those boys ready to play and he's going to find a quarterback that's going to be able to execute it in the SWAC and come away with some victories, or he thinks their schedule is so favorable that, you know, it's more favorable than Alcorn. But I'll let him explain himself as to why he thinks Prairie View is the better team.
Well, let me say this. This is well, first of all, Shady Grove Bears, who I believe is a Grambling Tiger. Yeah, you caught what he said. He said that y'all cheated them. You see how that Prairie View person slid that in there. But let me say something what I love about Prairie View people. They are almost as bad as the Alabama State people. They feel this is their time. Have y'all noticed they have called in more on our show than they called in the last 2 years? And then they are feeling themselves. Coach, they are. Do you hear me? They are feeling themselves. The man said wanted to give you a ticket to your alma mater. Now you know that's really feeling themselves.
Coach, can I add one thing? Man, I sit on top of the president when I go to that game. I sit with the owner of the game. I don't sit down there. I sit on top of with the president, with the owner of the game. But let me ask Benjamin, is he still on?
No, we got another caller. Let's go to that caller right now. Caller, you're live on the air with HBCU Coaches Corner. What's your name and where you calling from?
Walter Harley, calling from all the way from Maryland.
Ooh.
Maryland, it's a long way.
Hey man, listen, hey Rocky, pull up. Can you pull up his comment? Because he made a little interesting comment. I missed on Scotty's feed. Can you see his comment?
Yeah. Who made the comment?
Walter Harley. I think this is the person that calls. That's on the phone right now.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, pull his comment up because I got a question about this. Go ahead, Walter.
Well, first of all, I'm calling to let y'all know I do enjoy the show, and it's one of the new shows that's out there in terms of supporting HBCU. But last night's show, I was kind of disappointed when you're trying to take the new coach from South Carolina down a rabbit's hole. And I appreciate Mr. Campbell for showing the class that he has as being a rattler and not falling down that rattler's hole. I think what y'all should do as a new show is try to get as many HBCU coaches on so they can feel comfortable coming on your show and talking about their programs, especially the new coaches, versus trying to lead them down a rabbit hole to get them to answer questions that they're not able to answer, especially if they are new coaches at their school.
Well,
So
okay, what rabbit hole? What rabbit hole are you talking about, Walter?
Well, the rabbit hole is when they were trying to get coach from South Carolina State. His last name is slipping me right now.
Coach Berry.
Kenneth Berry.
To try to say something somewhat negative about FAMU last night, and Mr. Campbell wasn't going for that. He was just being straight up a commentator, an interviewer, and he was not allowing his bias or being a rattler interfere with him having a great interview. And I loved the interview. I loved it. But I just don't like how you try to take some of these slide questions and get coaches in these corners to make statements. You did it a little bit tonight with the coach at Grambling. You did it just a little bit tonight, but he has a lot more experience dealing with the media.
Well, let me say this. Are you talking about the question I asked about he almost was coaching against his opening game, was almost coaching against someone he coached against in the SIAAC who was up for the job at FAMU, and ultimately the people of FAMU decided they didn't want coach, that coach? Is that the
Absolutely.
question you're talking about?
Absolutely.
So okay.
Absolutely.
So this is okay. Think about this. I think
now before you answer that, I'm not SWAC, so I have no loyalty.
No.
I'm not me. I have no loyalty, but I am HBCU.
So this is what I wanted. This is what the purpose of that question. I wanted to, one, find out did Coach Berry know that was a potential, right? And it sounded like Coach Berry was aware that could have been the case. And then I wanted him to talk about what kind of coach, what's the coach name that y'all didn't want?
Coach
Yeah,
Gibbs.
I wanted to know what kind of Coach Gibbs was because I didn't know what kind of Coach Gibbs was. And I wanted Coach Berry to talk about Coach Gibbs a little bit and tell us what kind of coach he was. And that's how I made it relevant because one of our biggest shows on this channel ever was talking about the situation at FAMU. We got over 6,000 viewers talking about that situation. And so it was important to somebody. And so I wanted to bring it up and see if Coach Berry was aware of what happened. The same way it seems like everybody else in the HBCU land had an opinion. I just wanted to see if Coach Berry had an opinion. And I thought it was.
Go ahead.
Well, you know, coaches that are, and this is just my opinion, coaches that are out there trying to produce winning programs don't have a lot of time for that. They might get that information by a second party or a third party. But I can guarantee you the new coach at FAMU this year, he's blocking out a lot of the media things that's coming his way. Knows all the things that happen at FAM because he was one of the assistant coaches. But blocking out a lot of those things.
You cut out.
Oh man.
Well, what I wanted to do was piggyback off of you, Rocky. That's our job. You know, I'm on the other side of the table now, and our job is to get those type because our people who's watching us, they want to know, and that's our job. Our job is to dig, and see that's what we're here for, to ask those questions. When you're a head football coach, you're a CEO. You are the guy. You got to know everything about your program and about your opponents. Ain't no question. And if you don't, shame on you. Because when they come into where you play at or where you are, you got to know what that coach thinks, how he's going to try to attack you, where he's came from. Because when you take over a job, when I take over a job and we look at our schedule and there's a new coach that's coming in, whoever he hired, we go chase down their film. If he hire an offense coordinator from Nebraska, we trying to get Nebraska film. If he hire a defense coordinator from Ohio State, we trying to run down Ohio State's film. So that's what we do, Coach. We answer the hard questions.
Let me respond to Mr. Harley. First of all, I appreciate you watching the show. That is awesome. We appreciate it. Well, Mr. Harley, you're right. Those two guys on this screen was being messy. You're right, Mr. Harley. I'm not going to let them get away with it. You saw it, and I saw it too. And see, you got that guy from Texas Southern, that cameraman trying to be slick, and then you got that PWI guy. But see, me, the loyal HBCU guy, I wasn't going to let Chisholmberry fall that hole. Thank you, Mr. Harley. I'm glad you saw that. See, we know that. So, but no, we just joke around. And I want to be clear. With this show, we're going to give all different types of opinions. We're all going to bring our own life experience. So with that being said, I do joke, but one thing we do not do, we don't do anything with any malice intent. And I want to be clear also, you got to understand something. Coach Cole has a relationship with Coach Berry. But see, be clear, all these coaches, Coach Cole knows. So this is not something that coaches are afraid to come on the show. That's why they come on the show, because of Coach Cole. But I do say that as joking. And the reason why I did turn it, because they had gotten, there's no need to be asked the third question when they asked the first two questions about Coach Gibbs. What I wanted to do, because they actually set up the question I asked was about the game between FAMU and South Carolina State, which he did talk to directly, which I appreciate, and things like that. So, Mr. Harley, I do appreciate you catching that. But yeah, one thing about us, we never do anything with malice, and we have a lot of fun on this show when we talk to these coaches. And I will say this, because I will say, and I was being messy with Coach E. Rob about the cute thing. He knew exactly where that came from. So that was a mess. We do have a little fun because we know a lot of people personally and stuff like that. So we will have fun with these guys, and they appreciate it too because they like the lightheartedness of what we do over here.
Yeah, we ride Steve because he'll ride it through and through, man. And we ride him, and we just hey, we joking around, but we just trying to get the business out. And again, this is the first show. If somebody can call in and tell us that you actually getting to meet black college coaches, head coaches, besides for media day, which I don't know the numbers that they get. Rocky, maybe we can find that out. The numbers they get, they can't come and talk openly as they can come on this show and get out. Because one of the things, the people who's after them are just trying to find out things. We don't find them out. We already don't know. And I always can give a perspective, a coach's perspective. Steve can give a fan perspective, and Rocky can give the outside perspective of when we rap to these coaches, and we're coming at them in 3 different ways, you know. So I think, you know, where we are and what we're trying to establish here is I'll take a word out of your conversation, Steve. It's not malice at all, and it's never that.
No.
Gibbs' name might not ever he might not ever get mentioned, but we giving him some love, and we definitely, I'm gonna call down there and get him on the show.
Coach, I want to say one quick thing.
Okay.
I just want to say one thing about this, and this is what is great about this show is because unlike SWAC Media Day, because they have to run through the code, we actually ask the questions that the fans want to know. We don't ask this 50,000-foot question. We say, hey, you got this player, you recruited these guys. What are you going to do with them? You tell us the breakdown of what you're going to say. Tell them the playmakers you're going to. You don't get that anywhere else. You get that right here on Coaches Cole, HBCU Coaches Corner with Johnnie Cole, man. Come on.
All right, Coach, we got a caller.
Yeah.
We got caller from the 214. If you call back here quick, we'll take your call, but we're trying to get out of here. I promise we are. Go ahead, caller 3256. You're live on HBCU Coaches Corner. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, this is Carlos calling from Houston.
From H-Time. What's going on, Carlos? Thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir.
That's my place.
Coach Cole.
Yes.
Coach Cole, I got a question. Did TSU have a coaching issue last year, or did they have a personnel issue? Shut up. Give me your house.
Well, you definitely got to say a coaching issue because you didn't win. You know, what did he win? He went 0-11, 3-8, 5-6. What is that? We can count that on one hand, can't we? and then your 4th year, you started out 0-7. Texas Southern's always had great players.
11 games in 5 years, Coach, I think is the count.
Yeah, and how many Division II and what they played the club team across town. You know that, right? They played the club team across town. Only had 2 buildings on campus. Then they brought a school from California in that hadn't won no games in 2 or 3 years. So I don't even know if you want to
homecoming. You talking about homecoming? You?
Yeah.
Coach Cole.
Yes.
But you ain't bringing up that they didn't play Baylor. They didn't play last year. They played Toledo and Rice. They had no business scheduling them 2 games.
Well,
no business at all, right?
So we got. I want to use a word of insufficient coaching. All right, you got a young athletic director as well, who's putting these games on there, because my interest would have been in we need to win football games. Man, they're in the money. We need to put in football. Because Texas Southern pay their coaches more than anybody in the conference, bar none. You're sitting right there in the city of Houston with 2 of the largest school systems in the world, probably. Up in Dallas and Tech.
700 Division I players signed annually.
Yeah. So it's no way that you can't win or shouldn't be able to win in Texas Southern. Let's look at my man's background. He was a high school coach at Jake's High School, Jack Yates High School. He was a running back coach at Houston. Anybody knows that the running back coach is the least experienced coach that you put on your staff. You know, Kevin Sumlin Hardy. And then they moved on to Texas A&M, where I think he got a chance to be the coordinator maybe for a game or 2. But that's not big. And then he went on to
coordinator for 1 year.
It wasn't a year. It was in the middle of the year. And then he went on to coach at Arizona for another half a year. And then he came in. You know, he wasn't even ready. I don't know if you listen to his first interview. The first interview he said, I quote, "Yeah, I don't know too much about the football, but I do know about Machine Gun Kelly, and I know about the band." How do you take a job, a perennial losing job, and you talk about the basketball program and the band? That means that you coming into an area you don't know nothing about.
He coming to get that money, Coach.
He ran off with 1.5 million. How many games did he win, Coach?
11.
11. So then do the math on that. That's 100,000 plus per game.
Per win, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are some expensive wins.
It should never be about talent at Texas Southern. Never be about talent. And I know I was a player there, I was assistant coach there, and I was an opponent against them, and I was the head football coach. And all the first 3, I was a loser in all of them until I took over the job. Because I know what it takes. And right. You want to know what else? Now, one of them coaches after me have called me to say, Coach, what did you do? Not one, not the AD, not the head coach, and that's my school. So you tell me, are they interested in winning? If you're interested in winning, you'll call the person that has done it. Do you understand? I'm the only winning coach in 54 years.
Yes, sir. I know.
Yeah. So it's man, we got some problems there. We got some problems.
Now I'm looking at it from the outside looking in, right? They had an opportunity to have a transformational season Andrew Body's sophomore year. They had, you give any coach what Coach McKinley had his transfer year, his sophomore year, going into the fourth quarter, having a 17-point lead to play for a SWAC championship. Any coach in their right mind would take that deal 10 times out of 10. And somehow they fouled it up. And you ask me, is that coaching? It absolutely was coaching. There's no doubt about it. Situationally, they were bad.
That game? Do you know what happened that game, sir? Hello? He clicked off?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
no, I'm still here. Andrew
Okay.
ran the ball. He tried to push the ball over the goal line and got the ball knocked out of his hand. He tried to recover, stuck his arm out, total labrum.
Right. Why would a second-year starting quarterback up 17 points trying to get an inch when all you got to do is play ball control? Somebody should have told him something, right?
Hey,
okay.
And let me say this here, Coach, because I don't mean to interrupt you, but there was some guy on the team that led the SWAC in rushing the next year.
Ladarius Davis.
Yeah, but that was what, a 60, wasn't it like a 45, 60-yard run? It wasn't like he was, that was a long run. That wasn't just no goal line run. That was a long run. If he ran through the end zone, he would have never got hurt.
But I think Coach is talking about situation.
We didn't need points. We needed to eat the clock.
He probably shouldn't have been even carrying the ball.
Right. He just should slide and get down.
Hey.
Once he got that first down, he could have slid it. Yes, sir. I'm listening.
Have we ever seen McKinney learn how to eat the clock yet? Look at every game. I mean, I think that's what he always tried to do. And that's what got him caught up. Every game. If you go back and look at every game last year, they lost every game by 1, 2, 3 points. Except for the Grambling game. Trying to eat the clock and to get their butt. And then second half is all they get beat.
Well, that tells you he don't know what he's doing.
They got the brakes beat off of him by Alabama A&M, didn't they?
Let's go to the Prairie View. Let's go to the Prairie View.
No.
Open up the season. After I lose the A&M, open up the season against Prairie View. Going into the third quarter, how many points we was up? Several. We was up, I think, about 13 or something like that.
We was up by, yeah, and I told my friend that's a PV guy next to me, I said, we about to lose.
It's 13.
He asked me, what you talking about? I said, look
it was 13 to 31, wasn't it?
Look at the sideline.
Yeah.
13 to 31.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you know?
I looked at the sideline and do.
Do you know Ladarius, right? Do you know how many yards we were averaging per carry that game? Do you know how many yards?
He was averaging by 8, right? Wasn't he by 8?
No, we're averaging 10 yards a carry. You know how many times we threw the ball in the third quarter? 30 times. Why would you take a kid that got a shoulder problem coming back off of an injury and make him throw the ball 30 times and you up 31-13? Come on.
You shouldn't have.
Yeah. And you know what? You know how crazy we are at Texas Southern? I said we, right? So if I've got Texas Southern people listening, I'm a part of it too. I watched that. We were asking for him to get another year. We were pushing for him.
Nah, he couldn't have.
The reason why our coaching situation is messed up is we were waiting because he upset Alcorn, and then we were coming back to see the Pine Bluff game, which he was down 30-something, and they came back and beat him. That's the only way he lost his job. So it ain't nothing. Look, it ain't just the coaching. It's something else going on up
It's
there.
administration.
It's something else going up there. You said it, I did.
Wait a minute, is this the same administration that Fred McNair thought he had a job but didn't have a job? That's that administration?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
I'm glad they did that. I don't think Fred McNair was good for Houston.
I was just going to ask you that. How did you feel about that?
I didn't like it. I don't think he fit in well with Houston.
Okay.
He was a winner. He was a winner.
Yeah. When you
They just beat Alcorn 2 years in a row.
3.
Alcorn haven't done that since they came to the West.
3.
How's he a winner?
Yeah, 3 years.
But again, if he had got the coaching job, right? Other than Johnnie Cole, he would have been the most successful coach that ever worked at TSU.
Let me say this to you. Hey, what's your name? I'm sorry, sir.
Carlos Johnson.
Carlos, let me tell you this. So when you go back and talk about Texas Southern people, because I know how they talk crazy. They want to talk. They want to talk about your personal life and all that kind of stuff that don't mean nothing. Here I am. I got a coach, right? I'm going into his last year of the contract, right? He jumped off 0-6, something like that. He wins the homecoming. Do I start prepping to get a new coach so I can get a coach in here as soon as the season's over to start recruiting? Or do I wait till the last game that he's going to finish up 2-9? He trying to win this. No, 3-8, coach, because he won homecoming. He beat Alcorn. And I'm going to wait till the last game, Coach Steve. You run a business. You got a mug that ain't selling nothing. You're gonna let him just have your inventory stacked to the wall because he can't say that. Go, man, well, he gonna get it done by the end of this year. No, you cut your losses and start preparing to get a new coach. Who does that? Who does that, Carlos? Who does that?
TSU.
A perennial losing program. And I can talk it because it's my school.
So do
and
you
I'm
think
still waiting on
if this one
somebody
comes in?
No. I'm still waiting on somebody to call me from there and say, Coach, how did you do it? Do you know how many conversations, Rocky and Steve, when I go home to Houston and I'm sitting up there and they be telling, man, TSU need to do that. I said, yeah. This is what we need to do. I said, yeah. The question should be, Coach, what you think? How you think we can get this done? 97 years, guys. 97 years the school old. 97 years this year. All right. We got 3 championships, and I got one of those. But I don't know, Carlos. You tell me, man. You tell me. My alma mater is so much against me. They so much against me. I don't even understand that, Steve. Rocky, I don't understand it. Boy, you don't got me hot this morning. Go ahead. I mean, this afternoon. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm with you, Coach Cole. I grew up in Houston. Even when I was at TSU, 93, 94, 95, the whole team was Florida.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are they recruiting all these dudes and you got Houston?
That was where Coach Thomas is from. Coach Thomas was from Florida. And let's just talk about Coach Thomas.
No, that was
an okay coach.
No, that was Coach. That was Coach
Highsmith.
Highsmith. That was Highsmith. Highsmith had all the Florida kids there.
Yeah, both of them from Florida. Now you know Highsmith brought in Michael Strahan.
Yeah.
In 1990, Texas Southern, in 1991, Texas Southern had 22 players that signed NFL contracts. I didn't say NFL contracts, Coach. All right. We had Strahan, 3rd rounder, Johnson, 3rd rounder, Joe Burst, 3rd rounder, Brian Wiggins, I can name them all. Will Moore went on to play for the Jaguars. I can name them all, Coach. Bougie played the Cowboys.
What do you have, 4 wins?
Yeah, Evans played for the Cowboys. He got a championship ring. Yeah. Alberto White went 3rd round to the Oakland Raiders. I can name them all, Coach. And we went 4-7, Coach. We went 4-7. I can name them all, Coach. Coach, these were draft choices, Coach. This wasn't no. So when somebody, even when I played back in the day, Daryl Colbert, Donald Narcisse, Leonard Moon, all these guys, all these Eugene Bradley, Tampa Bay, Carl Williams, all of them went to the played in NFL, Coach. We just didn't win because of poor coaching. Point blank, poor coaching, Coach.
You know, this is what I was saying. I got some inside information from some of the things that were going on at TSU. You had parents feeding the team.
Yeah, they do. They did. Yeah, after practice, they'd bring them snacks and food. Yeah,
that's
high school.
That's high school. Well, maybe they shouldn't have paid him all that doggone money that they paid. I was making $168,000, Coach. That's being the AD in the football coach. They paid him twice what they paid me. I won more games than he won in my year and a half than he won in 4. Same thing with Mike Haywood. Same thing with Durrell Asper. I won.
You know, when I heard that, I was like, you talking about college? Yeah. And you got a father and a mother and an uncle dragging a barbecue pit on the practice field, handing out hot dogs and hamburgers. What in
it wasn't like that, It wasn't like that, Rocky. They weren't dragging a barbecue pit out there, Rocky.
Can I tell you why, my man? Carlos, can I tell you why?
That's funny. Go ahead.
Can I tell you why? It's because those guys they hired weren't CEOs. They didn't know how to they didn't know how to put 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag. They come from these big schools and thinking everything is in place and it's not. They hire their staff before they figure out, how much money they got, how much money is in the program. What do I got to do? You see what I'm saying? They don't know how to do that. People didn't like them. I keep telling my Texas Southern folks, ain't no alumni gonna come to no game and see no loser. Not in the city of Houston, when you got the Texans, you got the Rockets, you got the hockey team, you got Baylor down the street, A&M, Sam Houston, HBCU across they only support winners in the city of Houston. And you got to get out.
You forgot top 5 and top 10 high school matchups every weekend.
Exactly. You got to win. You got to win, baby. You got to win, and you got to get out and meet these people.
And I've said this for many years. This even before I started watching HBCU football. It's a shame that TSU and Prairie View don't dominate in the SWAC, considering the fertile football landscape that they had to choose from.
In all honesty, most Houston kids, they think they are Power 5 level kids. You ask any kid where they want to go, they're going to say Texas, Alabama, Baylor. I live down the street from Marshall High School, the fastest high school in the nation. I guarantee it. I don't think nobody out there can touch them.
No. But
them kids are going to SEC.
But those kids also go to national champion Sam Houston. They also go to Texas State. They also go to North Texas. And in my opinion, those programs provide more to black kids in the state of Texas. I mean, Prairie View and TSU provide a better experience than any of those colleges I just named for black children, for black kids, black football players.
So we lacking on the money then. That's basically, we still waiting on the weight room to be opened up at TSU. Right, Coach Cole?
Yeah, I heard it was just open, but you just got to get out, and out and sell the program. You got to believe in the program. You can't stay locked up over in your office. You know what I mean? You got to hire a personality, a Houston Texan personality over there that knows what they're doing, that knows the ins and outs. You know, and I hear people, it sickens me when I'm around people and they telling me what the program needs. They telling me this is how we gonna turn it around. I know how to turn it around. You know what I mean? I just, you know, we that's what we need. That's what we need, you know. And I just don't know. I think Texas Southern is in a Republican state, and I just think that the people that they hire over there just want to keep it in that place. I really think that, man, because we don't have too many greats that walk through there and they have made a mistake, like President Slade, President Lane, you know what I mean, that have done and were doing some great things for that university, and we can't keep a president.
They got him up out of there. They get him up out of there quick.
How many presidents we don't have since I've been there, Coach? 15? You know what I mean? How many ADs we don't have? How many head football coaches we don't have? It's crazy, Coach. You can't build nothing with you won't have no continuity.
So this comment right here, and I'm gonna let Bishop Campbell speak to this one. And I believe the gentleman is talking about me overrating the HBCU experience that exists at PV and TSU. Right? Am I overselling it?
Well, I think, this is where I think it cuts both ways. And I think he's saying you can't keep overrating the experience in 2024. For certain people, and this is what I'll say this for the kids at the Power 5, right? They come back down to our level. And I'll use James Houston he's a perfect example of that. He was at University of Florida, won the powerhouse programs, everything for everything you needed. He came to Jackson State and he said, hey, man, this is different. This experience is different than me playing in front of 90,000 folks in the SEC at Florida, okay? So that experience does mean something. I think what we have to do is balance the experience out with also investing in our own. So listen to what the coach just said and what Carlos just said. Hey, man, we just got the weight room open up if we think it's open. Now, I want people to understand that Texas Southern is not a broke school. Do y'all understand they have one of the best law schools in the country? They have judges. Pharmacy. They have one of the best business schools. So their alumni is alumni, okay? So the money ain't a problem. So the question is that I'll challenge Texas Southern alumni is also what are you doing to when you see a Coach Cole say, hey, Coach Cole, we're going to put together this NIL collective and we want you to help build this and you tell us the 5 things we need to build this program so we can go identify a coach. Okay, Coach, you know what? You help us identify a coach that can build this program that's going to sell this program. Because see, the one thing, and Rocky, you're in Texas, and I went to Texas a lot, and Texas is like Florida to me. You've got a lot of those big schools, and this is what happened to FAMU for a while. These kids grow up rooting for Florida State, Miami, and Florida, right? FAMU's over on the side. Down in Texas, those kids grow up going to Texas, Texas A&M, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then they don't get exposure. FAMU had to get louder in their recruiting. You see what I'm saying? We had to get louder. Hey, man, you come to FAMU, you're going to enjoy the experience. But we also had to make sure that the rest of it was quality. We had the academics. We got the girls. Now we build the program. So that's what Texas Southern needs to mean. That's what Texas Southern needs to do is they got to utilize what they got and then go back to that alumni that's out there coaching and say, first of all, you got to have that figure like Coach Cole. Because Coach Cole shows you, hey, I can win 9 games and win a championship.
They don't even have to hire me as a head coach, but make me involved. Quit trying to make Strahan involved. Strahan is way gone. You know what I mean? He way up there. And we want him up there so he can be a celebrity and be in the club. I was on the staff coaching Strahan. But we're so in Texas Southern, man, we're a different breed, man. We're a different breed, coach. We're a different breed. Yeah.
You guys are what I can see, but this goes back to I see something similar. The coach, I think you said, and that's what Coach McKinney saying. Well, I know about the basketball team and the band.
Yeah.
Well, see, this goes back to again the alumni have to care. It's the same thing with FAMU. You see all this stuff going on basketball because we don't care about basketball. But you see the other hell that we raised when it came to football. I'm gonna tell you. Hold on, I got to just make this quick point. We got a coach at FAMU that they don't even want to pay $150,000. When Willie was going to do, we raised $150,000 in 10 hours. Okay, so the money is not the problem. Yeah. If you care. So that's why I would challenge Texas Southern, because Texas Southern and Prairie View should be powerhouses. Southern and Grambling should be powerhouses. Jackson State should be a powerhouse. FAMU should be a power, because those states produce players.
Yeah.
You know, to your point, and I want to bring up the state of Alabama for this reason. There's no reason why the state of Alabama should be one of the best football schools, should have one of the best football schools in the nation, one of the best programs to ever exist. There's no reason. When you look at the numbers in the state, the number of football players they produce, look at the population of the state, there's no way they should be that way. But I'll tell you this, the people in Alabama care more. They care more. They're willing to invest more. They're willing to do more. They're willing to show up more. They're willing to pay more. And that's why they get the results that they get. Because like you said, they care more.
And they hired a coach that they supported, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Nick Saban had more violations than any coach in America. They didn't care about that. They cared about winning, coach. Winning. We could get through that. But we're going to make sure that we win. So
they don't care about how many wives the coach done had. They don't even care about how many DUIs he done got. They don't care about none of that, coach.
None of that. And they gonna have more students.
Well, no, wait a minute. I gotta hold on now. They cared in Arkansas because my boy was riding around there on that motorcycle with his side chick and fell off that motorcycle and fired his ass. Wait a minute. The coach from Hugh. What's my man? The coach down there. The coach. Right. But hold on. But wait a minute. But hold on. The coach from Ole Miss is now at Auburn. His ass was right there calling hookers on the 1-900 number. They got rid of that. So don't say they don't care now. They'll get rid of you too.
But he has a head coaching job, and he's the head coach of Auburn now.
Time out. You know where he left when he went from Ole Miss? You know what his punishment was? $4 million at Liberty College. He went to Liberty. Now he's back in Auburn. They don't care about that, coach. They care about wins and losses, man.
And coach, let me ask you this. Hugh Freeze's problem was he wasn't winning enough. Petrino's problem was he wasn't winning enough. Had he won a national championship, him falling off that motorcycle with that side chick wouldn't have been a problem. Had Hugh Freeze been the SEC champion, him calling those hookers wouldn't have been a problem.
Hey, man, listen, I'm going to say this because I'm not going to say no coach's name out of respect for anybody. But if I'm the coach of Florida A&M and I win a celebration bowl, them folks are family, you ain't going to give a damn. I got 3 wives. So come on, man. It's all relative. I can have 3 wives and 1 in Jackson. And then I go visit her when we play Jackson State. They wouldn't care if I'm winning championships. That go for anybody, baby. That go for anybody. Okay?
All right. Hey, man, we gonna get out of here, man. Yeah. Me and my family, we headed somewhere, man. We got to hit the road, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. We didn't have Coach Joseph Alone, and we was going to get out of here real quick. But like it always happens to us, man, we get in those rabbit holes, I guess. And we have a great time together, man. I want to thank everybody for continuing to support the program. Make sure you go in the description, select Rocky Miller's YouTube, and subscribe to HBCU Coaches Corner. We desperately need your support. We also got a lot of big announcements coming up next week. A lot of big announcements next week. Coach got some things brewing. He got some things percolating. You hear me? And you guys are a part of you're a part of what's going on, man. And I just want to thank you guys. And Steve, before we get out of here, and then Coach, I'll let y'all say last words, man. But I want to sincerely thank y'all for supporting us and following us. And make sure you like, subscribe, and comment.
Hey, I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to challenge to all my HBCU people out there, especially the younger people out there. If you want your team to be great, it costs to be the boss. The one thing, Rocky, people try to fact check me, but the one thing, like I say, you see this big old check right here? I cut checks because I want family to be successful. If you want to have a winning program, hey, man, you got to cut a check. Don't talk about it. Don't be on Twitter. Don't be in these chats. Send your school some money because guess what? One thing about the rallies, when we send money, we talk loud. Say he stole some money.
Strike, and strike again.
And strike again.
Well, hey man, as always, guys, I'm gonna talk about the election until it happens. It's about vote, man. It's about vote for your rights. And everybody see what's going on. We got Kamala Harris, we got Donald J. Trump. You know, choose your own guy, but if you don't vote, it's like giving the vote to the person that you don't want. So we've got to make sure that you vote. Got a lot of things on that they're talking about, women's rights. The Supreme Court is giving the president immunity, and you know, we talk about infrastructure. So pay attention. I think in my years of living, this is one of the biggest choices of our life to move forward. You talk about Social Security. If you don't know what that means once you reach a certain age, the country pays you just to keep you above board. Nothing major, but to keep you above board. And I really, really think that it's important that we continue to keep the Social Security thing going. So there's some other issues. I'll make sure each time I'll come out and have something to say. But again, guys, man, look, life is great. Life is great. And if you feel yourself at the end of the rope, if you're having a hard time, if things ain't going your way, just tie a knot. All right. And what I mean by tie a knot, just sit still. The good Lord says, sit still. And you tie a knot and you just hold on, because ain't nobody like you.